You've been hyping this moment up for months. You finally walk your kids to that one classic ride you loved when you were their age, turn the corner, and hit a solid wall of construction barricades. Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress officially closed to the public on July 6, 2026. This is a multi-year overhaul, and the rotating theater is scheduled to remain dark until sometime in 2027. When the final day arrived, there were no commemorative handouts, no special procedures for guests, and no unique operational send-off. Construction walls went up around the building within hours of the final performance. For an attraction with this much history, that quiet, sudden shutdown has created a level of fan controversy that outweighs the actual news of the renovation. It's a frustrating situation, but it highlights a necessary distinction for your next trip: the difference between Disney's historical marketing and the unglamorous operational reality of the parks. The attachment people feel to this specific theater is real. It is one of a very small handful of attractions that Walt Disney himself personally conceived and helped design. The ride actually predates Disney World entirely, making its debut at the 1964 New York World's Fair. It was originally built as the massive central showcase for the General Electric Pavilion, eventually moving to California and then relocating to Florida in 1975. But historical romance doesn't keep the gears turning. Underneath those rotating stations, the ride relies on mechanical infrastructure from 1975 that has been pushed to run every single day for half a century. That infrastructure was finally giving out. The immediate forcing function for this closure was a critical hydraulic seal failure inside John, the lead animatronic figure. During its final weeks, the breakdown became painfully visible. In the middle of a live performance, a seal gave way entirely, sending hydraulic fluid leaking straight down the character's arm in full view of the audience. When mechanical failure becomes a guest safety and presentation issue, it overrides any historical pedigree. The park will shut down the building instantly, which means no classic ride is immune to an unannounced extended closure. Since they had to clear the theater to fix the hydraulics anyway, Disney is taking the opportunity to execute a massive structural and creative overhaul before it reopens in 2027. The timeline jumps forward 60 years. The 1900s, 1920s, and 1940s eras are replaced with the 1960s, 1980s, and 1999. By deleting these early decades, the ride loses scenes Walt personally directed. To compensate, Disney is adding an advanced animatronic of Walt himself. By placing the creator physically inside the show, they are attempting to re-establish the ride's historical anchor, even as his original vintage scenes are scrapped. Integrating a state-of-the-art Walt figure while entirely rebuilding 3 stages of mechanical sets is exactly why this theater has to remain completely dark until 2027. The new version will carry Walt's legacy forward, but when you sit down in that theater next, it cannot be the exact identical experience you remember from your own childhood. For anyone visiting Magic Kingdom in the next 12 months, there's a much more immediate problem. Tomorrowland's daily operations just took a massive hit. This closure created a huge operational gap. The park suddenly lost a 20-minute, air-conditioned indoor attraction that quietly absorbed thousands of guests every hour. This displacement ripples outward. Hundreds of people who normally sat in that theater immediately flood the nearby People Mover and Buzz Lightyear queues. That sudden influx drives up wait times. You can't wing it. You must prioritize line-skipping passes to navigate the new congestion. If your family relied on the Carousel of Progress for a guaranteed midday air conditioning and seating break, your immediate pivot should be the Monsters, Inc. laugh floor, right across the walkway. You have to respect the math. When a land loses a high-capacity anchor, the entire ecosystem shifts, and your routing has to adjust with it. This brings us to a major psychological trap that catches thousands of families every year, anchoring an entire trip around one specific nostalgic memory. You tell your kids all about the singing family that ages through the decades. You hype it up for hours in the car ride down. The emotional anticipation gets completely tied to that one singular experience. By doing that, you create a massive single point of failure for your whole day. As we saw with the hydraulic failure, theme parks do not send personal warnings to ticket holders when a 50-year-old ride suddenly requires an emergency overhaul. Hitting a surprise construction wall without a backup plan burns valuable touring time and derails everyone's mood right in the middle of your vacation. Nostalgia is a brilliant reason to book the trip in the first place, but being completely rigid in how you execute that plan is a liability. The only way to eliminate that single point of failure is to build a flexible framework that has pre-calculated backup options already locked in. Have you ever built your whole Magic Kingdom day around one specific attraction, hyped it up in the car, told your kids, wait until you see this one, and then arrived to find a construction wall where it used to be? You're not overreacting. Disney doesn't send out a heads up when a ride closes for an extended overhaul. That's exactly why I built the Walt Disney World First Timers Complete Planning Guide. It walks you through building a real touring plan for every park, with backup options mapped out land by land. So if something you were counting on is closed, changed, or running a 2-hour wait, you already know exactly what to do instead. The Walt Disney World First Timers Complete Planning Guide is just $37. Grab it at payhip.com/b/xsrbz. Picture this. You walk into Magic Kingdom with a plan flexible enough, but a surprise closure barely registers. Grab it now. Link is in the show notes. And if you want to start with something totally free, grab my 7 Disney World Money Hacks Guide at the link below. Subscribe for the next episode, because we're heading over to Hollywood Studios to talk about what's actually replacing Star Wars Launch Bay.